1 round apiece. That's how. Took me 1 round. Wardley about to get knocked out. This fight about to go maybe 4, 5 rounds at the most, if that.
They're heavyweights. Anything goes. But I feel like Joe's too experienced, too smart, too sharp. And yeah, he'll be chomping at the bit.
I just can't write Fabio Wardley off because of how he punches. He punches like a horse kick. So I can't write him off. But the favourite's Joe Parker, for sure. But would I be surprised if Fabio Wardley won? No, I wouldn't. But
I'm really looking forward to that fight. Why? Because Fabio is an unknown. Is it commodity? I don't know if that's the right word for it.
Fabio Wardley wins this fight with a knockout. It will stop Joseph Parker. Trust me on this. Put your house on this deal. I'm telling you, it's gonna be electric.
The boxing world is buzzing as top fighters and analysts drop explosive predictions on who's going to sleep when Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley collide under the lights at the O2.
Obviously, there's no overlooking the man in front of me at all, but past this fight is the Alexander Usyk fight, and that is a massive. That's not a massive fight. That is the fight. That is everything.
Tim Bradley shared his prediction for the upcoming showdown, boldly backing Joseph Parker to score a knockout victory. According to Bradley, this fight won't last long. He expects it to end within 4 rounds, with Parker securing the stoppage through his powerful right hand. He also pointed out noticeable flaws in Wardley's game, observing that he often brings his jab back low, leaving an opening that a sharp puncher like Joseph could easily exploit.
Wardley about to get knocked out. This fight about to go maybe 4, 5 rounds at the most, if that. Because Joseph Parker gonna knock him out with a right hand. It's gonna be a right hand that's gonna start it off. Yep, might be a single punch followed up by combinations, but it's gonna be a right hand. One, Wardley, the biggest issue, right? It's not the fact that he jabs and bring it back low. That's one issue. But this is why you here, okay? Wardley, he hangs out and he distributes most of his weight on his back foot.
Tim Bradley also warned that Fabio Wardley could get caught up in his own technical flaws. He pointed out that Wardley often places too much weight on his back foot, which might slow down his movement and balance. According to Bradley, that could give Joseph Parker the perfect opening to capitalize, using his timing and single punch knockout power to end the fight in dramatic fashion.
Okay? You know, we talk about guys that put foot pressure like Canelo Alvarez, or even a guy like Shakur, right? He puts a lot of weight on his front foot to be able to push back out of range. Okay? You got to put weight on your lead foot in order to move back and create space. Wardley kind of leans back. That's the issue. So he puts most of his weight on his back foot, which means that he can explode coming forward, which is great. But when offense come his way, he's stuck in the mud. He's on his back foot, heavy on his back foot. He can't push off his front foot to get the hell out of the way. And he don't really use a whole lot of reflexes, and he uses his eyes to be able to dodge and avoid punches.
And then there's Jai Obitaya, who called this matchup an absolute cracker. He's siding with Joseph Parker, praising his sharp fighting style and impressive hand speed, qualities he believes will cause real problems for Fabio Wardley. Obitaya predicts Parker will come out on top, using his experience and precision to secure the win.
Well, that's a cracker fight, but obviously I'm backing Parker. I believe Parker's boxes well, he fights well, he's smart, he's got good hand speed for a heavyweight. I believe he wins.
Dan Raphael believes Joseph Parker holds the edge with a stronger chin compared to Fabio Wardley. He emphasized that Parker is a proven fighter who has faced multiple elite opponents under the bright lights and in front of massive crowds. According to Raphael, that experience and composure on the big stage make Parker the clear favorite heading into this clash.
For one, I think Joseph Parker has a good chin. He's shown that through his entire career. I think only, if I'm not mistaken, has he been stopped once, maybe? Or maybe not. Yeah, so that was just one time, and obviously Joe was a good puncher, and that was a great fight, highly competitive up until that moment that it ended. And he is, as you mentioned, a lot more experienced than Huni. I also think he's probably a little better technically than Huni is. Joe's been on that big stage before. Huni, was a good young fighter, but had never been at that level before, just in terms of the big stadium crowd and all the things that were going on with that fight. Joseph Parker has fought in front of 80,000 people against Anthony Joshua. He's been in some of the, the biggest fights in the division throughout his career, fought against top names, time and again.
Meanwhile, Hamza Shiraz believes Joseph Parker will be chomping at the bit for this fight. Without sounding disrespectful to Fabio Wardley, he suggested that this matchup actually favors Parker. Shiraz highlighted Parker's vast experience, sharp technique, and superior athleticism, predicting that these qualities will make the difference once the bell rings.
Without sounding disrespectful to Fabio, it's a good fight for Joe. I believe, anyway. I believe it's a good fight for Joe. It's dangerous because they're heavyweights. Anything goes. But I feel like Joe's too experienced, too smart, too sharp. And yeah, he'll be chomping at the bit.
While Joseph Parker may be entering as the favorite, Daniel Dubois manager Sam Jones remains balanced in his view. He admitted Parker deserves the edge, but warned against counting Fabio Wardley out. Jones described Wardley's punching power as like getting kicked by a horse, emphasizing how dangerous he can be at any moment. In his eyes, this fight is truly 50-50. Either man has the power and timing to stop the other.
I just can't write Fabio Wardley off because of how he punches. He punches like a horse kick. So I can't write him off. But the favourite's Joe Parker for sure. But would I be surprised if Fabio Wardley won? No, I wouldn't. But I think that I think Parker's the favourite. Parker's got to be the favourite.
Do you think Parker can stop Wardley?
Yeah, I do. I think both can stop either. I think it's such a great fight. I'm not just saying it. I think it's just look at Queensberry's stable of heavyweights. They can make so many great heavyweight fights, and this is obviously one of them. It's a brilliant fight, and it's a Brit, isn't it, challenging for the interim world title? So yeah, I mean, it's exciting times for the heavyweight division.
Then came the view of Johnny Nelson, who expressed genuine excitement for the fight but labeled Fabio Wardley as an unknown factor. Nelson pointed out that Wardley hasn't received the respect he truly deserves, and this fight is his perfect chance to earn it. While Joseph Parker stands as the clear favorite, Nelson warned that Fabio is the kind of fighter who doesn't always play by the book. Unpredictable, explosive, and capable of shocking everyone, just like he did in his war against Fraser Clark.
I'm really looking forward to that fight. Why? Because Fabio is an unknown. Is it commodity? I don't know if it's the right word, but he's just unknown. He's just like, you always think this. I think he struggled to get the respect from fighters because of the background he come from. I think he's demanded the respect now, and he deserves it, especially what he did with Fraser. So him against Joseph Parker, you'd expect Joseph Parker to have a little bit too much for him. You'd expect him to, but then Fabio doesn't adhere to the rules. So Fabio will be that guy and think, all right, then I'll just upset the apple cart. And both these guys are hoping to be the next in line to fight Alexander Usyk. Usyk's in a great position.
David Hayes, speaking on the matchup, asserted that Joseph Parker is the kind of fighter who always seeks out the most dangerous opponents, even naming Martin Bakole as one of them. He pointed out that Fabio Wardley hasn't looked particularly sharp in his recent outings, emphasizing that there is a clear gap in the level of competition both men have faced.
Parker seems to want to fight all of the toughest guys on the planet. Bakole, Zhang, Wilder. Those three guys are the guys that you don't want to fight. They're the who needs them club. There's no one. He needs it. He needs the action. He needs to fight the most dangerous guys. And Wardley, he didn't do that clever in his last fight, but prior to that, that shot against Clark, the overhand right, put a dent in the side of his head. He's got heart. He's gritty. He's strong. He's young. He's fresh. No real miles on the clock. So it's gonna once again. I can't see how Parker, with his experience, former world champion.
Speaking on his prediction, he went on to say that Parker will beat Wardley on points. He noted that Parker has been in much bigger fights compared to Wardley, and although Wardley secured a knockout in his last outing, he didn't look entirely comfortable. While he acknowledged Fabio's grit and power, he ultimately leaned toward Joseph Parker, predicting a points victory for him.
That he's world level, genuinely world level. Wardley, I think, is a little early for him. I think, a couple more, off the strength of his last fight. Obviously, he won a spectacular knockout victory, but up until that knockout victory, it didn't look comfortable. I'm not sure if training camp was bad or whatever, but if I'm a better man, I go with Parker. I go with Parker, possibly on points. I think Wardley's shown massive heart, grit, durability, toughness. So there's nothing to say that Parker will stop him. but you know, I'd say Parker on points in this one.
Derek Chisora spoke with trademark conviction. Raw, certain and straight from the gut. The ever unfiltered Del Boy didn't mince words. He's all in on Fabio Wardley. Chisora says it's more than just a pick. It's instinct. That fighter's sixth sense when something big's about to happen. He believes Wardley knocks Joseph Parker out cold, and to him it's like holding the winning lottery ticket. When you know, you just know. Wardley's last fight Chisora added proved he's not just hungry, he's ready for the world stage.
My prediction for the Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. I feel like Wardley wins this fight with a knockout. I don't know why I'm thinking of it, but it's just, you know, when you know, it's like that. It's like when you play the lottery and then you just get your numbers right. And I believe Fabio has got his numbers right now because after his last performance, he's got something to prove. I know Fabio for a while, you know, Fabio's a little beast. And Joseph is a beast as well, but I believe that
he called Wardley a little beast, raw, hungry, and dangerous. Chisora admitted Parker's got power and experience, but he's convinced this one's different. This time, Fabio finishes the job. In true Del Boy fashion, he didn't hold back. If you're betting, he said, put your house on it. That's how sure he is. It ends with a Wardley knockout.
Fabio Wardley wins this fight with a knockout. It will stop Joseph Parker. Trust me on this. Put your house on this deal, I'm telling you. It's gonna be electric. The boy from London, Norwich, is gonna do it. Is he from Norwich?
And then comes Fraser Clark, the man who's shared the ring with Wardley twice, adding another layer to the story. Clark knows firsthand just how dangerous Fabio can be. He's felt the power, tested the grit, and witnessed that relentless will to win. He called it an edge-of-your-seat kind of fight, the type where one punch could flip everything in a heartbeat.
Well, you don't need me to tell you nothing more than he can punch very hard. You know, you only have to ask my face. Yeah, he can really bang, and he's gritty. He's tough and he's gritty. You know, that's definitely his strengths. But then again, so is Joseph Park, you know, very, very, very tough, very durable.
He praised both fighters for their toughness and heart, calling it a true heavyweight thriller, one that'll keep fans on edge until the final belt. Clark believes this fight could swing either way. Maybe Parker uses his experience to take control early, or maybe Wardley does what he's done before, rallying from behind to land that one shot that flips the script. It's that wild, unpredictable energy, Clark said, that'll have the crowd on their feet from start to finish.
It's a fight though. It just it's gonna have everyone, you know, just on the edge of their seat. I can already see it. What we're going for. Will Fabio be losing the fight again and come back, or is Joseph Parker too cute, too experienced, and know too much? It's, you know, you're on the edge of the seat kind of decision.
On the other side, Joseph Parker steps in with quiet confidence and a renewed sense of belief. He's given Wardley credit for taking the challenge, but made it clear this isn't the same Parker as before. He says he's sharper, stronger, and more locked in than ever. And with a calm warning, Parker noted that if Wardley wants to stand and trade, he's ready for it, fully convinced he's got the power and precision to come out on top.
He believes in himself, backs himself. He's each and every fight he's had in the recent times, he's stepping it up, and so he backs himself in this fight. But I feel it's a different fight to all the other fights he's had. I bring way more experience and, you know, speed, movement. I can trade if he wants to trade, and I have that full belief in my ability.
Parker didn't just talk confidence, he laid out a plan. He broke down what he saw in Wardley's last fight against Justice Hooney, noting how Fabio struggled to land clean, meaningful shots. This time, Parker said, the story changes. From the opening belt, he plans to let his power do the talking, the kind of punches Wardley will feel instantly. And once those shots start landing, Parker believes the momentum shifts, and that's when, in his words, the fight begins to slip away from Fabio.
No, yeah, there's the blueprint. Can you tell us what the blueprint that we got from Hooney? He pushed him back, and he landed the shots he wanted to land. And there were times where Wardley had his flurries and it was going back and forth. But I guess if you control it from the beginning, and you set the pace, and that's how the fight's going to go.
Former Cruiserweight World Champion Tony Bellew also weighed in, and true to form, he didn't hold back. In his straight-talking style, Bellew acknowledged Wardley's explosive power, calling it a danger factor in any fight. But he also raised a sharp question. Is Fabio really ready for a fighter of Joseph Parker's caliber?
It's smart play by Frank Warden and his team to stick Fabio Wardley in. Yeah. Because I come with the champion, I leave with the champion.
That's true, yeah.
It's a Don King mentality kind of way.
Yeah.
It's smart, it's a clever play. If I was managing Fabio Wardley, I don't think he's ready for that fight.
Come too soon for him, yeah.
And I think the Justice Huni fight showed that. He just needs a few more rounds against a bit better quality opposition. Once again, he falls into that bracket where Moses is. And Andy Ruiz fights there. Maybe even a Jermaine Franklin fight makes more sense for Fabio Wardley than it does Moses Atuna. Maybe a fight against a Philip Haig, which you've got to remember, Fabio Wardley comes from a white-collar background.
Yeah.
From Belou's perspective, Wardley's rise has been nothing short of impressive, but it comes with serious risk. He didn't dismiss Wardley outright, admitting that every puncher carries that equalizer, the shot that can change everything in an instant, and Wardley's got plenty of it. If he connects cleanly, Parker will know it. Still, Bellew believes experience, movement, and composure are on Parker's side, and that's what could make the difference when the pressure hits.
With very little amateur experience.
Which showed in this last fight, to be fair.
And it does, because Justice Huni is boxing him, and he's outboxing him thoroughly. He's winning most rounds, but then, like I said before, he has that equalizer.
Yeah,
Fabio can really punch. And the fact that Fabio is still in there, throwing punches and believing in himself, that's what makes him dangerous.
Credit to him.
So he will have a puncher's chance against Joseph Parker, but I think Joseph Parker would know too much at this stage in his career. And I think he's been massively revitalised under the tutelage of Andy Lee.
Then came Lawrence Okolie's take, and he went the opposite way for most. The former Cruiserweight World Champion is firmly in Fabio Wardley's corner, predicting he's about to surprise a lot of people. Okolie believes Wardley's sharpness, pace, and controlled aggression will set the tone early, giving him the edge right from the opening rounds.
I believe Wardley's going to win. I believe Wardley is going to be a bit sharper, especially in the early rounds, and if he can clip. I know Parker's an ex-world champion and he's been in there with some of the best fighters, but I think he's not had a lot of rounds lately. He had 1 round against, or 2 rounds against Bacoli, and before that I think his last fight was maybe Wilder. So he's, in the last 2 or 3 years, he's only had maybe I don't know how many rounds. So I think that
Okolie gave Parker his due, a former world champion who shared the ring with some of the very best, but he also pointed out something crucial. Parker's activity has slowed down, and in Okolie's eyes, that could cost him. Wardley, meanwhile, has stayed active, sharp, and steadily evolving with each performance. For Okolie, the moment feels right. The stage is set for Fabio Wardley to deliver a defining statement.
With Wardley, he's been on a good run. I think his sharpness will be able to get to Parker, and I think he'll hurt him in the middle rounds and end by stoppage. But if he doesn't, and the fight goes on later, I think Parker's experience is going to really show.
So, with legends divided and tensions rising, this one's shaping up to be a true heavyweight spectacle. Will Parker's experience carry the night, or will Wardley's raw power steal the spotlight? We're about to find out. Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ring Rivalry, where every fight fuels the debate.